Adolbert, we can't hear you.
All right, can you guys hear me? Can you guys, if you hear me, can you wave your hand, guys? Awesome, wonderful, wonderful. Welcome to this evening's WSB meeting, team meeting. Can we make noise from London Financial Center? Whoa, right now I can see Winnipeg. Winnipeg, can you guys make some noise? All right, all right. I see Kelly. Kelly, are you guys there? Financial Center? You guys are loaded. You guys are loaded. Let's go, man. How about Greenbelt Financial Center? What's some noise, Greenbelt? I want to hear that noise. The ones on there, I want to hear the noise, guys. All right, how about Legends FC? Is that us? All right. I see a lot of financial centers here too. But they are not being showcased right now. Haven't been promoted to the panel. Wherever you are, whether you are in Legends in San Antonio, Legends in San Antonio, or Perry Financial Center, or Banham Legends, or Greenbelt Financial Center, this is our house this evening. We are here to get what we got and hear from a couple of guys that have done it big time in WSB. So let's do a whoosh here.
Adolbert, I can't see you.
Whoosh! One team, one dream, one system, one God!
All right. So this evening is amazing what we do here. I've been in this. My name is Adolbert Onyema. A lot of you know me, a lot don't know me. I'm on the quiet side, but not anymore. Not anymore. Been in the business now for the past 18 years. Things have changed since then. Things have changed. I came in here as I wanted to make some little money, but from little money to big money. I thought I was going to hang around for a few years. Now it's 18 years. I'm going to be here forever. I'm going to be here forever. Right. So I'm hoping everybody is thinking that way. And one good thing is this. I want to let you guys know this. I joined the company 2 weeks later. 2 weeks later, I was told we were going to a big event in Anaheim, California. I didn't know what that was, but I went anyway. And that was it. Somebody's going to talk about big event today, but that was it. When I got there and saw 10, 12, 15,000 people milling all over the place, screaming and shouting on top of their lungs, I was like, oh my God, whatever these people see, I'm part of it. So I planted my flag. I planted my flag right there, and 18 years later, I'm still here, right? So if you're here to win tonight, you are the right place. You are the right place because we have the winning team, which is WSB, in the winning company, WFG. And lo and behold, we are surrounded by winning leaders, leaders that know what they're talking about. especially when you get to Titan. And then we're being guided and guided by our ultimate coach, Coach Swan and Alicia. So we consider ourselves very lucky to be here tonight, to be here forever, to be here the rest of our careers here. All you need to do is plant your flag. So the watchword here tonight is going to be plant your flag. Can you guys say that?
Plant your flag.
Yes, wherever you are, just plant your flag. Don't let that flag go away, blow away. If you guys, I love nature. So a lot of times I watch the first guys that went to the moon, how they planted that flag on the moon, and that flag is still there flying up to today, and it's not going to go down. That's what we want to do here. All right. So in this financial center here, my God, the last event we went in Sacramento was it. I've been to so many events, but this one was it. A lot happened. But the biggest thing that happened was when Coach disclosed to all of us that there are 4 ways now to build GX. Everything we do right now is all about GX. 4 ways. If anybody doesn't become GX this period of time, then the person is wasting his time. All right. I came back. I recruited a lady 4 days ago. She recruited 2 people, and one of the people she recruited 1. So I'm GX already. That's how simple it is. That's how simple it is, right? So we got to do that. And right now we've instituted a monitoring system here in Lanham. Because of the monitoring system, we are beginning to have people now fighting harder to become GX. To be honest with you, with the monitoring system, volunteers and people running the system, we have 100 complete associates and training associates running for GX. For the first time, we've seen that. We have 58 people that have decided, hey, we're going to go to Coach's house, and they're running and fighting very, very hard to get that done. 58 people. I'm pretty sure more will join that bandwagon, but for us to have that happening, it is something to talk about. And we made a decision. You can see my sister here, Miss Rhoda. We made a decision, and my wife is on my right-hand side. We came up with a decision that we're going to promote 50 GX MDs in the next 3 months. 50 GX MDs. Guess what? 1 has popped out already. And we have about 4 about to finish that run. So things are happening here in Lanham Financial Center, Lanham Legends, and I hope it's the same thing all over the country, US and Canada. I hope that's what it is. So, but tonight, we have fine trainers that are coming up. You know, the first guy I'm going to call is this guy. I say he's one of the, if he's not the tallest guy in WSB, somebody prove me wrong. I think he's one of the tallest guys in WSB. I do see him all the time. We shake hands. Yesterday, I was told he's going to be the first person to train tonight. And I was so excited to do that, to have him come up. This guy works off of Katy Financial Center in Winnipeg. Am I right? Yes, in Winnipeg, Canada, all the way from Canada. He joined WFG 2008. He's married. He has all kinds of licenses. I tell you this, all kinds of licenses from life and health and to series 65, 63. He's everything that you need to be in WSB. So he's going to take the stage tonight and talk about let me get that topic up here. Okay, yeah, and talk about needs analysis for permanent life insurance. Needs analysis. So I want everybody here to pick up your notebook, get your pen ready. While this guy talks, I know if you look at his office when he comes up, you're going to see his head and shoulders taller than everybody. So, so he's getting his information from up there. So I'm going to pass this on to my good friend, an SMD from Winnipeg Financial Center, Mr. Daniel Faircran.
Daniel Faircron. Thank you. Thank you, Delbert. My name is Daniel. I assume you guys can hear me. And
Yes, I hear you.
I don't want to take up too much of your time. We're gonna jump right in it and talk about a needs analysis. Up in Canada, by the way, we need a life license and we need a securities registration. It's not considered a license; it's a registration. I have both, and I've had them for over 10 years. And I enjoy my career here. I love my career. I love being a part of a building program where we can work as a community. And I'm going to jump right in and talk about what we do for a permanent needs analysis. And I'm going to talk about the concept first, not the needs analysis and not the PFS. And so one of the problems I had when I started this career was when we did a needs analysis, we'd say, how much term do you need? And that came down to DIME, D-I-M-E. We figure that out, we get as close as we can. And then when we did a permanent needs analysis, we said as much as you can afford. You know, and there was no real needs analysis. It was just like a budget analysis. And so we're going to go in and we're going to just analyze a concept when it comes to estate planning and what this possibly could look like. I lost my picture of myself, but I'm good here. So what I'm going to talk about is estate planning. By the way, this is for educational purposes only. I'm not your advisor and I'm not taking notes on your product. You need someone who knows you to get advice. But when we go through agreement with a client, we should learn about values first, then talk about concepts and make some agreements, then go to strategies and product. But we should spend most of our time on concepts. And that's the Saving Your Future book, workshops, X-Curve, Financial Foundation. If you go to product too soon, you get rejected. So they should know their problem first, and then you get the product later. So we're going to talk about that today. A concept is something that's unarguable. So for example, if you have one concept versus a product, the concept always wins. But the X-curve is a concept. It theorizes that your responsibility decreases and your wealth increases over time. The responsibility curve has two ends to it. So early on in the curve, we have DIME, debt, income, mortgage, estate planning. And then on the end, how much life insurance does someone need who's 85 years old? And so a business can go bankrupt, but a family cannot fail. And people say, well, if you have money, you don't need life insurance when you're 85. I hear if you watch a Texas radio show or you go online or Reddit, people say you don't need life insurance. But I'm going to make a case that you might want some life insurance when you're 85 years old. That's the case I'm going to make. Now, we're going to look at this together, and whether you believe me or not, I'm okay with it. You got to sit down with your client, and they got to agree with what you're going to buy. But we're going to go through an acronym called RESTful. How much life insurance do my kids need? Where when I look at in RESTful, the first R is for reset. A quality inheritance doesn't solve every problem. When I pray for a financial, to get out of my financial problems, I don't pray, give me a lifetime of income, God. What I pray is like, get me out of this situation. And so a reset is maybe 6 months to a year of your income per kid. So if I make $100,000 a year, I might need, $50,000 per child, maybe $30,000 to $60,000. That way my adult children could maybe exit a relationship, pay off debt, get married, put a down payment on a house, renovate an older house, go back to school, take care of the first 3 financial foundations, get some insurance, pay off their debt, build an emergency fund, or maybe start a small business. But when we look at the greatest gift I can give to my children is when they become an adult, I can move them from one stage of life to the next stage, and they can kind of go through that threshold and enter a more responsible stage. So maybe 30 to 60,000 is a good amount for your children. My children might not need $1 million. In fact, they might not need 10 million because that might corrupt them. But we're going to look at a reset, 6 months to a year of your income per kid. Now, estate legacy is something that we don't know this is the kind of money that might say, hey, I want to use not just to protect my family, but to create a big estate. I want to leave a big gift, but I have low net worth. Maybe I came to Canada in my 60s and I want to, leave a big net worth. Most retirement pension income doesn't transfer to my children. So if I save $1 million for retirement, I end up spending it. I don't end up giving it to my kids. Maybe you're involved with a charity and you want to leave a lump sum and build a building or build something. After your financial foundation is complete, then you start thinking about legacy and lifestyle and maybe looking at some life insurance, because life insurance is typically tax-free, but savings is many times taxed. A gift does not require, but it creates a dignity or a pride where if I give something to, I got 3 children, I got a 6-year-old, a 1 and a 2-year-old. If I give something to them now, it's because I need to do it. So I feel like a good dad, but when your kids are 40 and you're 70, or maybe my kids are 60 and I'm 90, I maybe want to just out of dignity, give them something that they don't need because that's probably the best type of gift. Now, I sell a lot of permanent insurance on widow's gap. I think there's a widow's gap when we don't study the insurance policy, but we study the beneficiary of the insurance policy. When someone becomes a widow, it's about 3 months to 1 year of income, where many widows need cash right away. Maybe they want to renovate their home and sell it instead of a flipper earning all the profit. Maybe my wife needs maybe $40,000. She could paint the house, where if we die in our 80s, our house is going to look like it hasn't been renovated in 30 years, because that's what 80-year-old couples look like. Maybe I want to give my wife 3 months income while my pensions transfer, while things transfer to her, so she can have some time to settle the estate. Or maybe she needs a down payment on a new apartment. Maybe I die in my house. Maybe I fall in my own house and she doesn't want to go there every day. She's so sad. So she needs a down payment or a new apartment. Maybe she needs moving costs. And maybe my wife is a stay-at-home mom. Maybe she's just learning to pay bills for the first time and she needs some cash for this. So maybe 3 months to a year for widow's gap. Now, we talk about tax a lot. And so tax planning actually just consists of moving assets from a taxable upon death to tax advantaged on death. So it's a very simple process. We kind of say, hey, do you have stuff that's taxed now? Maybe we sell it early and move it into, in Canada, TFSA, life insurance, maybe pay off your home, where you can get things that are tax advantaged as part of the tax planning. Life insurance is tax-free, but RSPs are not. And so maybe it makes sense to reposition some assets. The F is for funeral, that maybe I need 1 to 6 months funeral. And you just ask, do you want to do potluck funeral in your backyard? Do you want to do, a $2,500 funeral or $25,000? And people kind of know. I've had some widows say, I'm going to the best funeral home, no expenses spared. And other people look at the budget, they do it at their local church. If you prepay for a funeral, you get a discount about 5 to 20%. So if the funeral is $10,000, you could prepay for maybe $8,000. But if you buy insurance, you could get 2 to 20 times the multiple. So I could maybe put $1,000 in and get $10,000 out, depending on what age you buy it. And so sometimes permanent life insurance is just to cover a funeral. And then my CPP or my government pension plan, the death benefit maxes out at $2,500. It's 6 months of benefit and it's taxable. So my wife's only going to get $1,200 in CPP payments. And so the funeral, I can say I can include that in my permanent needs analysis, that I don't want to cover that with cash. I might want to cover my funeral with life insurance because it's maybe a better deal. I don't know when I'm going to need it, but I do know on that day someone will need it. There's funeral concierge and other things as well. And then I sell a lot of permanent insurance based on a loss of income. And let me clarify. If I die today, my wife loses my active income. But let's calculate how much, if I die at age 85, how much income does my wife lose? So government pensions are reduced or they're stopped when a spouse passes away. These are the facts. By the way, this is Canada. My wife will receive my CPP and she'll get a 40% reduction. So she's going to lose that and up to her maximum. So if I get $2,000 a month in CPP, she's going to get $1,200, and she's going to lose probably about $5,000 a year in government benefits. None of my OAS goes to my surviving spouse. Now, if you're American, you got to look at, hey, how much of the government stuff stops or does it roll over? So right away, my pension might be reduced if I had a pension. If you have clients have a pension, how much less does the spouse get? But right away on the government, my wife's going to get $13,000 a year less, and I assume she outlives me by 5 to 10 years. I can't see her outliving me by 20 or 30 years, but maybe I need 13,000 times 5 or 10 years, so I need about 65 to 130,000, so that if we're living on, let's say a lot of couples live on like government benefit only, and if it's $5,000 a month and it goes down to $2,500 a month, I think maybe it's the husband's responsibility to supplement, where I don't want to be, when I got married, it's not joint, it's not till death do us part, you're on your own, it's joint last to die. I think I should take care of my wife until she passes away. So when I look at how much life insurance an 85-year-old needs, well, I want to give my kids a reset, maybe 6 months. Maybe I want to give maybe a year of income away. Maybe I got to give my wife 90 days of cash so she could start paying some bills. I got to look at my tax situation. May as well pay for my funeral. I know it's coming. And then I'm going to top up my wife's income. So I probably need 6 months of my income or 6 years of my income, depending how much cash flow I have and what kind of planning I'm looking at and how I feel about maybe taking care of my family if I think financial planning is cyclical. And so when I look at values and I look at the concept of taking care of widows when they're old, I think it's a great part of financial planning. And then I think there's 2 ways we can start planning. We can start with the beginning in mind with a budget, and we could do an F&A and look at that. Or we could start with the end in mind and look at, hey, when you're 90, how much money you would need, and then kind of work our way backwards. And so this idea of permanent life insurance needs analysis is a concept that they just need to buy one need. If they say, yeah, I like the idea, I want to cover a spousal gap or widow's gap, we focus on the concept. And once they buy the concept, the product just has to match the concept they buy. So if they have a concept of there's a permanent need, which is usually a lot less than the temporary need, but I think there is a permanent need for almost every family. And so the question I have is, early in life, we got to get the right amount of insurance, and we use Dime, and that's covered in our workshops. But when you're older, you might need, I get about 30 times my income in life insurance now, but I like to keep maybe 6 years of that as a permanent, where a business can go bankrupt and they could start again and get sold to someone else, but a family cannot fail. My wife cannot go broke and get sold to someone else. That doesn't work in my bloodline. And so I end with a quote: when a man who does not need it, only the man who does not need it is fit to inherit wealth. The man who would make his own fortune no matter where he started. If an heir is equal to his money, it serves him. If not, it destroys him. But you look on and cry that money corrupted him. Did it? Or did he corrupt his money? And I think the number one issue is to give values to our family so they could manage the money we give them. And so that is my chat about the financial needs, about getting a permanent need. Roughly, it's about 6 months to 6 years of your income is a permanent need. And you can find many, many products to fit that. That's an easy thing, how to fit the right product into the right concept. So Dilbert, I'll give it back to you, and we can go to the next speaker.
Oh, wow. My man, that was excellent. Excellent. I learned quite a few things from you right now this evening. The restful concept that you put up here taught me some great lessons. How much do we really have? How much are we leaving for our spouses? When it comes to the reset, I got that. How long will it take our kids to reset after the loss of my income? And that's what everybody should be thinking about. And you started off with the X-curve. The X-curve was one of the concepts that I first grasped in WFG, WSB, and it's lived with me ever since. So thank you for bringing these things up. Everybody now knows the real true meaning of dime. What do we really need? What are we going to live off of? What is going to be there when we get too old? What is it going to be there when we leave the stage and pass it on to the next generation? Do we even have anything to pass to the next generation? Becomes the issue. So this is time to plan. All right. So I applaud you for what you just did. And let's move it on. Let's move it on. The second person that is coming up here now is my good friend. I've known him for at least 16, 17 years in WFG. He's been in WFG for 17 years. He's a green jacket, a Titan. I battle with him in Titan day in, day out. He's one of the 1,000 Coach Swan is looking for to build 1,000. That's the kind of person this guy is. Before he came to WFG 2008, I believe 17 years ago, he was a manager at Walmart. He's a pharmacist, but came here and found comfort in WFG. We want to hear from him. We want to know what is that kept him here. Why did he come here and planted his flag? Remember, I started off by saying it's all about planting the flag. And he works off of the KD Financial Center, Education Center in Houston, Texas. Ladies and gentlemen, his topic today is going to be great wealth transfer and building from event to event. Wealth transfer and building from event to event. And that's no other person than my man, Mr. Frank Duong. Frank, over to you, man.
Thank you very much, Adobe. I appreciate you. Thank you for that introduction. Good evening, everybody. My name is Frank Young, and I'm from the great office of Katy Financial Education Center. Katy, let me hear you. And, you know, we're having a lot of fun here in Katy. We got a lot of team members here. We got guests here today. Daniel, you did a great job explaining about just about the X curve and how you got to take care of your responsibility. You got to take care of your family, right? That's very important that you take care of your family. Today, I'm going to get quickly into it. You know, my background. A lot of you know my background. I'm not going to spend a lot of time with that because I want to be able to spend, you know, time with what we're going to do in the next 5 years. Because to me, we're in the greatest time ever. Right now is the greatest time ever. The next 5 years is the golden year. The next 5 years is the golden year for WSB and WFG. And I believe the next 5 years, all of us here, all of us that's on Zoom, all of us that's in the financial centers, we're going to be in the right spot. You are in the right spot. You're in the right seat. You're in the right place at the right time. And you definitely have the right company and the right system to be able for you to run your business. So I'm going to share my slide here. I'm going to talk about, you know, the great wealth transfer. You know, my friend in California, Mr. Kevin Wynn, he's been talking about this, and you know, I hear him talk about it, and then I start to talk about this because with this right here, yeah, we talk about the great wealth transfer, and can you make sure the clicker's on it? Okay, so give me 1 second here. So we talk about with the great wealth transfer, guys. We look at this. Look at this. Right now, there's about $43 trillion in assets that are sitting out there. JJ, that's a big number. $43 trillion that's sitting out there. So that's an opportunity for us to go out there and help families. It's an opportunity for us to go out there and help them be able to transfer this money. Because a lot of people are looking with the fluctuation of the market assets. You know, assets are not going up. That's why people are looking for a secure retirement income. I want you to know that word, secure. It's got to be secure. retirement income. Look at this. Look at this wealth transfer. Look at the last few years. It's been hovering around 40 trillion, 42 trillion, 43 trillion. People are putting in a record amount of numbers from their IRA, 401k, but it hasn't gone up because of the market is going up and down. Because you look at it, you put in a lot of money, but it hasn't really gone up because of fluctuation in the market. You know, because right now, people are not looking for something that's safe, but they definitely don't want something that has risk to it, right? That's got a lot of growth, but that's got some risk. But Natalie, what are they looking for? They're looking for this third circle. This third circle that WSB can provide them. We can provide them that growth. We can provide them that safety, right? And we can do something that no other company can do. We can do something that no other anybody in the financial industry can do. We can provide all three circles for them. If they want that safety, we can do it. If they want that growth and risk, we can do it. But if they want that growth and safety at the same time, we can be able to do it for them. So I believe this. I believe that in the next 5 years with WSB, all right, we're going to do more. This is the golden year for WSB. And when you're sitting there, I want you to think, hey, you're at the right place. Because this is going to be it for you. You don't want to miss this boat. We're going to have a boat. And a boat of 1,000 people that builds 1,000 people. On that boat is going to be 1,000 of us. And I'm going to ask you, are you going to be on that boat with us? Are you going to be one of the 1,000 that builds 1,000? Because right now, we got $40 trillion in the great wealth transfer. Compare that to last year, Regina, in life insurance, total premium was $16 billion in the whole industry. 16 billion is good, right? Okay. And I believe WSB, we're great at life insurance. We go out there, like what Daniel said, we go out there and we protect families. But 16 billion is very small to $4 trillion. That's an untapped market. Imagine what WSB can do when we got more people getting their security license, understanding about this great people that recruit 1,000 every single month. If you're one of those, I mean, I'm excited for you because you're going to have 1,000 recruit every single month. And you're going to be one of the 1,000 that have 1,000. If you can keep the on there, Kimmy, it says. Okay, so 1,000 that has 1,000 license. Imagine right now, looking at your team, you have a chance to have 1,000 license on your team, right? You have 1,000 that will have 1,000 GX. You can be like a Victor Salvador where you have 1,000 GX. You can be like an Arl Explorers when you have 1,000 GX. Because in the next 5 years is the golden year. And you're going to be 1,000 that makes $1 million. Yes. 1,000 to make $1 million. I don't know about y'all, but I get excited about that. I get excited that there's going to be, right now, WSB is about to have about 100-something millionaires. 5 years, we're going to have over 1,000 people that make $1 million. We're probably going to have over 100 people that make over 8 figures. So let me ask you, how many of y'all want to be one of those thousands that make $1 million? Raise your hand if you want to be 1,000. Yeah! One of the 1,000 that make $1 million, because I believe it's possible. How are you going to do this, guys? How are you going to do this? You got to focus. You got to focus because everything is going to be in meetings and events. Man, Frank, you just said about recruits. You just said about license. You said about GX, but now you said we got to be in meetings and events. That doesn't make sense, right? But meetings and events is where it's at, Vincent, because it's not about the meeting. It's about the people that go to the meeting. It's about how many people you have going to the meeting. Because if you want to be 1,000 that build 1,000, you got to have what? 1,000 people that go to the meeting. It all comes down to it's not about the teacher, it's about the student. It's not about the speaker, it's about the listener. It doesn't matter who's on stage. It doesn't matter I'm on stage right now, but it matters that you're here and you're listening and you can believe in yourself that you can be 1,000 that build 1,000. You can be 1,000 that makes $1 million. It's not about the convention. It's about the convention goals that determine success. So how successful will you be? So the meetings, it's going to be in this timeline. This next 6 months is going to be very critical for you. So I want you, May, to next 6 months to put your head down, go to work. Because the most critical thing that's coming up in 3 months, it's the GX retreat in Gold Street. That will determine your year. That will determine your 2026. That will determine if you're going to be 1,000 that build 1,000. Your next battleground is going to be at this retreat. You got to ask yourself, how many GX am I going to bring? How many GXers, how many GX people am I going to bring to this retreat? First of all, you got to be there, right? First of all, you got to hit GX yourself in August, September, October to make sure you be there. And then you say to yourself, how many people am I going to bring with me? Because this will determine if I'm part of the 1,000 that becomes 1,000, the 1,000 that makes $1 million. And you have to believe this, because when we take a look at this, you focus on your long-term goal, right? You focus on your long-term goal. You got to create a vision for yourself. Mr. Patel, you got to create a vision. And then from that, you got to develop a strategy. Develop a strategy. Stay focused, right? Develop a strategy. You stay focused, and then you got to adapt. While you're going, you got your goal, but you got to adapt. You got to adapt, and then the last thing is you got to measure your progress. You got to measure your progress as you're going. So, first thing first, building from this event to event. The next event is the GX. Vision. You got to have a vision. What is my vision? My vision in the next 12 months, I'm going to be one of those millionaires. In the next 12 months, I'm going to make $1 million. Now, I can tell you guys, right here, I declare to WSB, I declare to everybody on Zoom, I declare everybody in KD, I'm going to be making $1 million in the next 12 months. Now, I'm not close to it yet, but I know with the system, with the right condition of the market, I'm going to be able to do it. I'm going to be able to. So that's my vision. You got to have a vision. What is your vision for the next 12 months? What do you want to become? Do you want to make $250,000, $500,000, $1 million? What is your vision? And you got to have a big vision, because if you're in the right time, this is the gold mine. You got to have a big vision. And so, Tony, you got to develop a plan. My plan is to bring 500 people to G26. G26 is not even on the map yet, but I already have planned to bring 500 people. But the thing with this, Quinn, is this. I only had 25 people at G25. Only 5 people at G25, but I'm going to bring 500 people to G26? Are you crazy? A lot of people look at me, Virginia, and they're probably, no way, Frank, you're crazy. How can you do from 25 to 500? Well, everything starts with the next event. Everything starts with the retreat that's coming up at G25. Minimum, I'll bring 25 GX people. 25 to the retreat. Because I know if I bring 25, I can get those 25 to bring 10 people to launch 26.
Yes.
Because they're committed, because they want to win, right? Because they're following the system. And then 250 at launch. And all I have to do is continue running the GX system. I'll have 500. And I have 500, Adobe, I have 500 to G26, I'm going to make $1 million. Right. It's all about the system. It's all about your belief. Because right now, It's the perfect time. We talk about the 43 trillion. This week alone, I already moved myself and one other team member, two other team members. We moved this week $1.6 million. That's very small. I wanted it to be $1.6 trillion, but I'll start with 1.6 right now. And we got many more this coming month and next month to be able to move. And then you got to stay focused. You got to have daily habits, right? Your daily habits, because I have a goal, a big goal, Vincent, but I got to make sure my daily habits are there. I got to have daily habits, right? And then I got to do what? I got to be adaptive. As I go, I got to be adaptive because I got to adapt on the way my team and myself can hit GX. I got to be adaptive to that. It's not just not one way. I got to use all four ways. And what's the best way? The fastest way for my team members to hit GX so that we can build more GX, so that we can get 25 GX to the retreat. So I got to be very adaptive. And then I got to monitor, right? I monitor my progress, right? Sorry. I'm getting too excited. My finger's getting too fast. Got to monitor. And then I got to look at my bubble chart on a daily basis. Who's my next GX? Who can we get recruit? Who can we go out in the field with to get the next GX? So that's what we got to do. Stay focused with your daily habits. This is very important that we stay focused, right? We got to show up every day. If you show up, let me ask you, if you're going to be 1,000 that build 1,000, you're going to be one of the 1,000 that make $1 million. Do you need to show up every day?
Yes.
Yeah.
You need to go to work every day. You
Yes.
just cannot say, hey, give me $1 million, but I'll sit at home. You cannot do that. You got to show up every day, every meeting, every single event. That's the reason why we have about 60 people here at Katy. That's the reason why every Saturday we have about 120, and we're going to build out to 200 and 300. That's the reason why Katy is going to be the best office, not only in Texas, but the best office in WSB. Yep. And I know Chicago's out there. I know Dallas Central is out there. I know Ghost Street is out there. But hey, we're going to declare big because we're going to have the discipline to show up every single day. Showing up is the first step, the most important step. We're going to focus on our guidebook every single day. You know, this is going to be known as the guidebook office. We're going to talk about emotional goal. I'm going to talk about making $1 million every day in the next 12 months. I'm going to talk about that every single day. Y'all going to hear that. Y'all going to hear me saying that I need to bring 25 GX. Y'all going to hear me saying that Katy is going to bring 100 people from Katy to the GX retreat, right, in November. And I'm excited about that. That's our emotional goal. We're going to easy start using the 8 bubble. We're going to prospect. We're going to use our bubble chart. Every day you're going to look at a bubble chart. You come to my office, you look on my desk, my bubble chart is there, and I look at it every single day. I identify the next GX, the next person I can be able to go to work with. And then you give out assignments, you follow up and you follow up and you follow up and you call your team. You talk to your team. You talk to your team every day, even though they don't want to talk to you. You talk to your team every single day, right? You message them, you call them, you talk to them, you do whatever you need to do to become a winner. You call your prospect, you follow up, you take your prospect list out every single day. You know, you make that phone call, you make that phone call, not 5 people, 10 people. You might have to do 100 people a day, Miss Natalie. Whatever it takes for you to hit your goal. If your goal is to hit 250,000, do whatever it takes. Your goal is to hit 500, do whatever it takes. If your goal is to make $1 million, Claire, do whatever it takes, because you know why? We're in the greatest era right now. 43 trillion. 10,000 people are retiring every single day. There are people that are looking for a secure income out there. There are people that are home right now on a Wednesday night in their house praying for an answer. praying that somebody comes knock at their door and give them an answer to their financial future, and to be able to give them an opportunity and a chance. And you are that person. You are that person that's going to give them an opportunity. You are that person that's going to give them a chance, because you are a winner. And I know you can be able to do it. So, guys, I know I talk fast a little sometimes, but I'm very excited. You know, I'm excited what's coming up. I'm excited for the retreat. I'm excited for WSB. And I told Coach, I texted him this. I talked to him. I said, Coach, we're going to do more in the next 5 years than you did in the last 30 years. WSB in the 30 years. I feel like WSB in the next 5 years. Right now, WSB is doing about 800 million in points a year. I think in the next 5 years we can get to $3 billion. $3 billion. But 3 billion is still very small of that 43 trillion out there. We can be able to dominate. I don't know about y'all, but I'm very excited. But you know what? You dominate. You don't dominate by accident. You don't win by accident. You win with intention. Right? You win with a plan that in the next 6 months, how many people, next 3 months, how many people are you going to bring to the GX retreat? How many people are you going to bring to launch? How many people are you going to bring to G26? That's how you're going to win. You know I'm going to win. I'm going to win. But making $1 million is not about me winning. But I know if I make $1 million, I raise the ceiling for my team. Then my team can say, I can make $250,000. I can make $500,000. I can even make $1 million. That's the reason why I want to do it. So set your intention. Set your intention and take a bold action. Don't sit there and say, hey, I just want to make a couple $100 a month. You can accidentally make a few $100s a month. But with the right intention, you can make $1 million a year. You can be 1,000 that builds 1,000. You can be 1,000 that makes $1 million. I want y'all to imagine that in 5 years, we're going to have a convention of just 1,000 people. And your ticket to get into that convention is you got to make $1 million.
Wow.
And we're going to have 1,000 people. But I want to ask y'all, how many of y'all are going to go to that meeting? How many of y'all are going to be in one of those 1,000 that get into the door? Because you got to show your cash flow and you go to that meeting. I know I'll be in that meeting, and I know lots of people from Katy will be there too. All right. So thank you very much, Adobe. I appreciate you. I'll turn it back over to you, Mr. Adobe.
Wow, Mr. Frank, you just re-recruited me right now. You just got my blood pressure high on the positive side, not the bad way, but high. I want to be one of the 1,000 also. I want to be that. You spoke about so many things here that we've heard before, but we kept them on the back burner. Focus, 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 focus. All about activity level. You know, each time we get to WSB, one of the things we find out so easily is the function of circles. 8 circles here, 8 circles here for prospecting. The newest 3 circles is making raising some heads too. Safety, growth, and both. And you just reiterated that here today. What are we doing? The only way we're gonna hit $1 million. I'm with you here, man. Next 12 months, I gotta hit $1 million. That's right. It's overdue, bro. We're gonna do that, but it takes intensity, it takes a lot of focus. We have to focus. Monitoring, that's one thing we started doing since we came back from Sacramento. We dug down, we get our people to declare what they want to be. The least person out of the 100 of them is GX3. We have people running for GX5, GX6, and we are monitoring these things on a daily basis. Every morning, we come on in the office physically, those on the Zoom, and all over the place. We are declaring, we are asking for the numbers. We are figuring out why is someone up to this moment doesn't have a personal recruit or even a single point. We want to know why. And then we redirect them to their trainers and go take them, ask them to go to your trainer, get something doing, get something done if you're going to be GX3 by October. We have a lot of people who are running for 945. So they can become GXMD within 1 month. It's all about focus, like you said. All right. So I thank you and Mr. Daniel for the wonderful training you just gave us this evening. I'll say this morning because it's still morning. We're just waking up. We're just waking up. You just woke us up again. Let's go to work, guys. WSB, let's go to work. I want to be one of the 1,000 to build 1,000. I don't know about you. Are you one of them?
Yes.
Thank you, everybody. It's been a wonderful time with you guys this evening.
The stars